Good evening, guys. What's up? Welcome to iCkEdMeL, and I wanted to update you guys with this motorcycle chase from earlier. Tragic update. There was a cop that was shot and killed. His name is Deputy Andrew Nuñez. There's a press conference that we're going to watch. It's like 10 minutes long. He was a 6-year veteran of the San Bernardino County Sheriff Department, and he was shot and killed responding to a domestic violence call. And apparently the guy that was on a motorcycle he was actually trying to stop the other guy that was in a chase on the motor. Like, the cop was trying to actually trying to get that guy to stop. Pretty crazy. Authorities said the incident began around 12:37 p.m. today, October 23rd, when deputies were dispatched to the 12300 block of Hollyhock Drive for a report of an armed Hispanic male threatening a female. Upon arriving at 12:42 p.m., deputies were immediately fired upon by the suspect with a POS. Deputy Nuñez was struck once and airlifted to the trauma center, where he later died of his injuries. The suspect then fled on a motorcycle, leading deputies on a high-speed chase. He said that during the chase exceeded 150 miles and at time nearly reached 200 miles an hour. I think this guy had a death wish, the guy on the bike. I don't know what he was thinking.
Well, we're breaking away from Jeff Nolan's story here to take you right now to a news conference being held by the Sheriff's Department following a deputy being shot. Let's go ahead and listen.
His name is Andrew Nuñez. He's a 6-year deputy with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, and had served the community of Rancho Cucamonga for 5 years. At 13:13 hours, he was pronounced deceased after receiving a single gunshot wound to the head. As you know, Andrew was responding to a domestic violence call. After that call, deputies immediately started rendering aid to Andrew, and our allied agency, along with our SWAT team, came in to secure the area in Rancho Cucamonga where this call took place. While that was occurring, the suspect left the area on a motorcycle and subsequently was pursued by our deputy sheriffs with aerial support overhead. The pursuit came to a conclusion with an off-duty deputy sheriff who put himself on duty and conducted a legal intervention by hitting the suspect on the motorcycle.
And see, that guy actually was trying to knock this guy off, the cop, which was pretty ballsy.
The motorcycle to go down. The suspect is in stable condition at an area hospital. Right now, the additional information about this case, as you can imagine, this is still an ongoing investigation. We're out on the scene investigating that. We're also on the scene where the pursuit came to a culmination and taking care of that investigation. And then we're also waiting with the suspect to interview him. As you can imagine, the entire department is very heavily, I don't even know what to say. We're embedded in sorrow. Unfortunately for our department, this has happened way too often.
Young guy, it looks like, too.
When we talk about this young man, his wife, 2-year-old daughter, and the couple was expecting.
Damn,
his mother,
really,
and his 4 brothers and sisters are who have to live with this, along with the members of his department who are out there serving with him today. We're going to do our very best to the most important thing at this point, and that's to make sure that we bring this suspect to justice and take good care of that family. I'm going to introduce my partner, RDA Jason Anderson, and then afterwards Jason and I will take some questions. Jason?
Good afternoon, Jason Anderson with the San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office. Obviously, this is a very sad but fluid situation. We've been monitoring information that we've gotten from the Sheriff's Department, other agencies that have been involved in this. We anticipate receiving reports very, very quickly within the next couple days. Obviously, the status of the suspect will determine the timing of our filing of our charges, but clearly we're looking at this as a murder on a peace officer, which makes it a significant case. As the sheriff has indicated, there's a component perhaps of domestic violence too at the home. As you can imagine, it's so fresh that we're still trying to get details on that, but we will weigh all of the facts and the information that we have and move forward in terms of making a charging decision, likely within the next 2 days of this sad event occurring. We've been here at the hospital since about 1:30, and it just is unbelievable in terms of the emotions what this family is going through as this has developed on them. Our sympathies are with them. I have to say, though, that one of the most impressive things is that given such a fluid situation and so tragic, where so many different departments can come together and work very, very quickly and very, very closely to not only give information to the family to help them get towards closure, but to be able to make the appropriate professional decisions from the district attorney's standpoint, but also, more importantly, having open communication as it relates to all the investigations that will occur in this case. And that has to do with what happened in Rancho. It's what happened on the 210, fortunately with the suspect being taken into custody, and then over the next couple days reviewing reports and moving forward, and obviously seeking justice on behalf of Deputy Nuñez and his family.
Thank you, Jason. Folks, we'll take questions. Go ahead. Well, Deputy Nuñez was a 6-year deputy. He had served the community here in Rancho Cucamonga. Wonderful father, wonderful deputy sheriff. I can tell you from seeing all of the long faces of his partners that this tragedy hits close to his personal family, obviously, and certainly to the greater Sheriff's Department family and all of his partners that knew him. It is a blessing today in that the response of our allies.
So the whole on-duty, off-duty thing, from what I can see, so the Deputy Andrew Nuñez, the man that was shot and killed, let me put his picture up again. I mean, they showed his picture, but I'll put that up right there. He was on duty and he was responding to a domestic violence call on Hollyhock Drive in Rancho Cucamonga. That name is always kind of weird to me too, Cucamonga. Around 12:37 p.m. So he goes to respond to this domestic violence call or situation, which they say is one of the most dangerous calls for police. And he arrives and he's literally shot in the head. One shot in the head. The suspect takes off on a motorcycle. And that's the chase that we covered earlier today. That crazy ass. I think the guy was trying to get killed. I don't think the guy had any regard for his own life. I think he was trying to get killed. And then the person that was off duty apparently, I think, was a narcotics officer. They said an off-duty narcotics officer, also from San Bernardino County, played a key role in stopping the suspect. This off-duty officer performed what the sheriff called a legal intervention, intentionally striking the suspect on the vehicle, on the motorcycle, to end the pursuit, which caused the suspect to go down and allowed deputies to take him into custody.
Law enforcement agencies to come help us handle a situation of this size, one that actually turns into a pursuit as well. And I certainly hope for the family that we can provide some level of peace by making sure that the suspect is held to answer for this crime, and we'll all continue to move forward as a department.
Tell me about the mindset of deputies just responding to, I know you say there's never just a routine call, but these are the types of calls that deputies.
No persecution. Procession.
Day out. And now we're in a situation like this where the department's crushed and you're in there talking to the family.
The procession's about to be held now.
That's a great question. And what was asked is, when a deputy goes to these types of calls, what goes through their mind? And as you can all imagine, deputy sheriffs play these scenarios, not only going through the academy, but also through our own minds about what we're going to do, as we gain experience in those calls about how we handle them and handle them safely. The unknown here is the problem. You don't know where the suspect's at when you go on scene. You don't know the circumstances. And this is going to be one of those cases. You're getting what we call a domestic violence involving a man with a gun. We know we've got to get there, and I can tell you 100% that Deputy Nuñez wanted to make sure that he protect the public. That's get there, solve the problem. We never want to use or employ violence, but we have to be prepared for that. That's what goes through their minds while they're en route to calls like this, along with all their partners that are going to go back, the responding deputies.
Did he fire at all anywhere else during this? I saw him pulling out a gun on Freeway. Is there evidence of any other assaults?
What Rob was asking is whether or not there's any evidence of any other assaults. We do know from seeing the video that he did pull another firearm out. This is all still very preliminary as to whether or not he did assault anybody else. I can tell you, our off-duty narcotics officer, I'm very thankful for that he brought this to a close, because in addition to potentially assaulting others with a firearm, the speeds that were reached with that motorcycle, well, we got reports live from the helicopter were in excess of 150 and even close to sometimes almost 200 miles an hour. And if you can imagine what that could have done to just unsuspecting motorists on our freeway. I'm very thankful that we were able to take him into custody, and fortunately nobody outside of Deputy Nuñez was hurt, but our hearts are heavy right now, and you all know I've stood right here in the same place and talked to you many times in similar circumstances, and you know, as a sheriff, you just don't know what to say to stand people up. You don't know what to say, and you're expected to know the magic words. And the only thing I can say is I don't know why this continues to happen to us, but I couldn't be more proud of the men and women that show up every day and they deliver safety to this county, and they are the true heroes in this picture, along with Deputy Nuñez, and God bless him. No, Rob asked if he was responding to the call solo. He was not. We had numerous deputies. When you have a man with a gun call, and here, fortunately, in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, we do have very good staffing here. So there are a number of deputies that, frankly, within seconds and moments, were on scene when the shooting occurred. Right now, we don't know any of that. There could be a possibility. We were setting up, as you can imagine, when these things happen, it's our responsibility to contain potential violence. So setting up a perimeter and not letting that violence get out beyond there. For him to leave in the motorcycle played something entirely.
ABC7.com and
This is live now.
24/7 streaming channels.
It's a procession happening.
Up in Air 7 as we follow this procession of a fallen San Bernardino County Sheriff's Deputy who was killed in the line of duty earlier this afternoon. We are live over Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, where the remains of that deputy have just been placed in that van right there in the center of your screen. Deputy Andrew Nuñez, a 6-year veteran of the force, taken down by a lone gunman during a domestic violence call this afternoon. Then an incident that really shook this whole area ended up in a pursuit as deputies chased the suspect on a motorcycle down the outpouring of mourners from various police departments and other agencies here in the San Bernardino area, including Fontana, Ontario PD, and Rancho Cucamonga. You can see that procession about to get underway here as the van pulls away from Arrowhead Regional Medical Center onto Meridian Street, where dozens and dozens of law enforcement officers are ready to escort this body to San Bernardino, over to the coroner's office on Lena Road, I should say, in the next several minutes. The van about to make that turn onto Meridian, and you can see all of those deputies and other police officers in place for this procession as it gets underway.
Crazy, man. I mean, earlier today when we had heard the cop was shot, you know, I wasn't thinking anything fatal. And apparently, yeah, he was shot in the head.
You can see the van now driving underneath that hero flag set up by the fire department right there along Meridian. But again, we're adjacent to Arrowhead Regional Medical Center as this procession gets underway. An entire community shook by this afternoon's events. Really just an an unbelievable afternoon out here that really has rattled everybody, including not only these law enforcement agents. An unbelievable afternoon out here that really has rattled everybody, including not only these law enforcement agencies, but has really affected a lot of people out here as we were out here all afternoon covering the calamity that started over in Rancho Cucamonga and then ended up these, but has really affected a lot of people out here as we were out here all afternoon covering the calamity that started over in Rancho Cucamonga and then ended up in a pursuit on the 210 freeway that brought a screeching halt to the evening commute here for thousands and thousands as that freeway just, I believe, started opening up a short time ago, at least one lane, I believe. But the eastbound lanes shut down for an extensive investigation after an off-duty officer swerved in front of that motorcyclist at extreme speeds. At times, that motorcyclist pushing 150 miles per hour as he was trying to evade law enforcement. He pulled out a gun, and that's when he crashed, as he crashed into another off-duty deputy and went flying. Again, the suspect taken to the hospital. He was airlifted to Loma Linda in stable condition. Unfortunately, the deputy who he shot in the head has died here at Arrowhead Regional Medical Center. As this procession continues down Meridian, he will eventually make a left. And we expect approximately a 10 to 15 minute procession over to the coroner's office where they will be preparing for a major funeral in the coming days.
Crazy. So he had a wife and a, what is it, two-year-old daughter and an unborn child. Wow. Wife was pregnant. Shot in the head. I really think that suspect, which I haven't seen his name released. I don't know if they've released his name yet or if they identified him. He is in custody. He was in the hospital. I don't know how he survived that motorcycle crash. How he survived. The boy was sitting up. They had him in some type of cast, I think. They airlifted him. How the hell did he survive? It's crazy when you hear these stories where these pieces of shit, somehow they survive. And these innocent, hardworking people are dead.
In California and throughout the country, as another law enforcement officer has been killed in the line of duty as this procession makes a turn onto West Valley Boulevard. That sheriff's deputy loaded into that van there with a large caravan of police officers from the surrounding community.
For those that missed it, this was the guy
short but slow
that intercepted the motorcycle.
From Arrowhead over to the coroner's office. You can see Meridian lined with upwards of 100 law enforcement officers from San Bernardino, Fontana, Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, and other neighboring agencies who have come out here to pay their respects after a shocking fatality in their ranks here, as one of those deputies was shot and killed earlier this afternoon. Again, Deputy Andrew Nuñez on the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Force for about 6 years, meeting his demise this afternoon.
Suspect is a correctional. Really? Evan Rookie's Can Ranch in the chat says, suspect is a correctional deputy who works at West Valley Jail in Rancho. That'll be nuts, man. If that's true, what the hell? This guy in the chat is saying the suspect is a correctional deputy.
Motorcycle officers leading the way for the van right there with the body of Deputy Andrew Nuñez, who leaves behind a pregnant wife and a 2-year-old daughter.
Damn.
And an entire police department who is coping with the loss of one of their brothers this evening. And it's a really just heart-wrenching sight as we see this procession that, again, we just are just all too used to seeing here after events like this. And this one is no exception. It will be another very difficult week for the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. You can see the helicopter overhead escorting this procession over towards the east a bit. Just a few miles from here is the coroner's office in downtown San Bernardino.
Damn.
Yep, I got you.
Attach reg chat. Let's see. Suspect still alive.
Appears they'll be taking West Valley Boulevard over to the east here and possibly making a left turn. In fact, it does indeed look like they'll be making a left turn onto Colton Avenue, and that will take them up towards Leno, where that is the location, obviously, of the coroner's office here in San Bernardino. Right now, continuing to travel eastbound on Valley Boulevard as the remainder of this procession still is turning off of Meridian. Again, we're talking about a half-mile procession, it looks like.
PNW Steph, thank you so much for the membership.
Up here in slow formation as the remains of Deputy Andrew Nuñez are escorted from the hospital over to the coroner's office after just a bad day here for law enforcement in the Inland Empire.
It's crazy, man.
Once again, if you're just joining us, to recap, Chris Christie up in Air 7 as we follow the procession of fallen Deputy Andrew Nuñez from the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center over to the San Bernardino Coroner's Office. You can see a long line of law enforcement from across San Bernardino County now piling onto Valley Boulevard off of Meridian here. As you can see, this caravan stretching about a half mile to a mile from the beginning here as they continue to make their way towards the east, towards the coroner's office, as they pay their respects to their fallen deputy who was met by a suspect's bullet earlier this afternoon responding to a domestic violence call. That suspect shooting the deputy in the head. That deputy pronounced dead this afternoon at Arrowhead Regional Medical Center. A horrific set of events here in San Bernardino. Again, that deputy was killed, leaving behind a pregnant wife, a 2-year-old daughter, and an entire police department that is absolutely distraught this evening to learn of this tragic loss. And again, it really was a chaotic set of events because what started as a shooting call ended up in a barricade of some sort, the SWAT team responding out to that call. Eventually, the suspect jumping on a motorcycle, leading police on a high-speed chase down the 210 freeway, eventually colliding with another vehicle at a high rate of speed, upwards of 130 miles, that suspect thrown in the air and somehow survived. That freeway, just opening up a short time ago, was shut down for much of the evening commute. That rush hour, absolutely a nightmare this afternoon as the eastbound side of the 210 freeway was shut down for the investigation. I believe they've opened up at least one lane. That suspect airlifted from the freeway over to Loma Linda Hospital, where he is in stable condition and will be facing a mountain of criminal charges.
All right. This is sad, man. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. It's sad how quick somebody's life can be taken. Man. Just like that young guy, family. And this guy, the suspect, gets to have another chance at life. That woman, whoever that woman is lucky that he didn't kill her, the suspect. But I think that guy had a death wish the way he was driving, jumping on the wrong side of the road, almost driving 200 miles an hour, pulling out a gun while on the highway. Rockopedia.
Copy.
Yo, for real. My Life Matter said riding like he's in the Matrix. The way that guy was on that motorcycle, it's like, I don't know how any sane person can ride like that. I mean, I know there's people that do like thrill for the thrill of it and shit, the adrenaline. But I think that's like next level. Was he on something? Was he high?
It's been happening a lot. The procession continuing now, turning off of West Valley Boulevard onto Mount Vernon Avenue. A long line, over 100 law enforcement officers escorting the remains of Deputy Andrew Nuñez to the coroner's office from Arrowhead Regional Medical Center. You can see this long, lengthy procession winding its way through San Bernardino en route to the coroner's office, now turning on to Colton Avenue here. The van led by a configuration of motor units right there. Again, California Highway Patrol, San Bernardino, Fontana, Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, amongst the agencies represented out here as they escort this body over to the coroner's office. Again, a very sad evening here in the Inland Empire after the loss of one of their own deputies in the line of duty this afternoon.
Oh, man. All right, let me close out some of these windows. I guess we'll find out more about the suspect tomorrow. One-liter bike is doing 90 miles per hour in the time it takes to pull a wheelie in second gear. Jamaica. Category 5 going to Jamaica. Cameras out there. Oh. I used to do wheelers on the highway at 100. Man, what? Oh. What was it? The adrenaline? Was it like a high? Your heart pumping? Living life on the edge? Yeah, the dude was searching for his gun on the cycle. He was distracted. I forgot about that, Seacoast. I wonder if is that actually a thing? Is that active? If you kill a cop, you get 100 years. Candace Owens accuses turning point of covering up Charlie Kirk's assassination. Wow. Damn, that's crazy. Text messages. Damn. She shared text messages where Charlie Kirk and her are talking, and he says that if I tell you the true prophecy I know in my gut, it's really sad, but I hope it's wrong. He goes on to tell Candace, anyway, I'm not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution. Wow. Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped
now
out.
Passing the 215 freeway, you could see heading up Inland Center Drive or past Inland Center Drive.
Not really afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true.
The procession now passing the 215 freeway, you could see heading up Inland Center Drive or past Inland Center Drive just to the north here. Hundreds of deputies and police officers escorting the remains of Deputy Andrew Nuñez, a 6-year veteran of the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, after he was shot and killed in the line of duty this afternoon. Procession that started just about 20 minutes ago or so, departing Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, heading for the coroner's office in downtown San Bernardino. You can see this long procession winding through the area here, paying their respects in these initial hours of shock and grief. This all happened at about roughly 1 o'clock or so this afternoon. That's when the shooting happened, and eventually that suspect who shot the deputy engaged in a high-speed pursuit on his motorcycle down the 210 freeway. And the rest is history. That suspect is in custody after crashing with another off-duty officer who somehow intervened and swerved into the motorcycle, sending him flying and then eventually being airlifted to the hospital. And now that fallen deputy, who leaves behind a pregnant wife and a 2-year-old daughter, on his way to the coroner's office, where there will be a full autopsy and eventually a huge funeral in the coming days. Let's see firefighters paying their respects at each of these intersections. Police directing
Crazy.
traffic.
There's basically no mods on this channel. It's pretty much modless. There's a few people, but they're not really around often. There's like 3 people, I think. Man, I don't know what's going to happen November 1st with these food stamps. We might have to do a live stream. I don't know if is it really going to be all out chaos? Wow, that's a long, pretty big procession.
Copy. Copy that.
Crazy times, man. Look. Oh, there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lorraine's a nasty woman.
Once again, the ceremonial procession of fallen Deputy Andrew Nuñez here in San Bernardino continuing to weave through Colton and San Bernardino proper as they escort the remains from the hospital, Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, over towards the coroner's office. You can see the fire department and various police departments alike paying their respects out here at each of these intersections. Hundreds of deputies and law enforcement officers from across the Inland Empire and even points beyond as they pay their respects here to the fallen deputy who leaves behind a pregnant wife and a 2-year-old daughter. Andrew Nuñez been on the force for about 6 years, responding to a domestic violence call this afternoon at approximately 1 o'clock, where he was met by gunfire and was killed. Looks like some other folks coming out to pay their respects as well. You can see some local residents with the American flag on the corner there.
So the off-duty cop, I was confused about this thing the whole time. Okay, when this motorcycle, thank you for pointing that out to me. When this motorcycle, I kind of wasn't paying attention, but we were talking about this earlier, how the guy kind of like swerved into him or kind of like changed lanes. Apparently the guy in the vehicle, I thought they were talking about the motorcycle that tried to clip him. Apparently, I think they're saying the guy in the vehicle was the off-duty.
Is very comfortable with the way they are handling that motorcycle, but that doesn't mean that this is any kind of safe. Right now, it looks like he's boom.
Boom. I think that's what they're saying. This guy in the vehicle that hit, swerved into him. It was the undercover dude.
Looks like he's boom. That's it.
Wow. That makes sense because the other guy the motorcycle dude was in uniform. That's crazy, yeah. Kudos to that cop. Oh, they got the flag hanging. The fire trucks. Oh, by the way. Okay, I think this is the stop right here.
Once again, another hero salute here by the fire department as the motorcade continues under the flag-draped ladders. That sheriff's van right there with the remains of Deputy Andrew Nuñez now pulling into the coroner's office, led by that contingent of motor officers, and behind him no less than 100 to 150 black and whites and law enforcement officers from across the Inland Empire as they pay their respects to this fallen deputy. You can see the sidewalk lined with more law enforcement. Also family in this caravan as well as the van pulls up to the coroner's office right there.
Yeah, the motorcycle guy survived. Yep. I thought he was dead. When I saw that accident, I was like, oh, he's dead.
Deputies now forming a receiving line here momentarily as the van pulls into the coroner's office here. Backing up there, that's the sheriff's van. And all of those deputies who participated in this procession now finding their spots and making their way over here on foot as they start to line up here. Another sad, poignant moment as they transfer the body out of the van momentarily and into the coroner's office, where there will be a full autopsy as this investigation continues into every facet of this afternoon's officer-involved shooting. Deputy Andrew Nuñez shot during a domestic violence call in Rancho Cucamonga.
Wow.
Copy that.
Very sad. So they made it to the coroner's office. And I guess that's it. But we'll see tomorrow as far as, because they haven't released the suspect's name or picture or anything. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow. But it's rumored, somebody in the chat was saying some type of correctional officer. We'll have to see if that's true or confirm it tomorrow. Really sad, man. Especially for the family and the kids.
Once again, as those deputies line up for this salute, this will do it for our coverage from up here in Air 7. This procession coming to an end at the San Bernardino Coroner's Office.
Wow.
A poignant procession as hundreds of deputies and law enforcement officers escort one of their fallen brothers over here from the hospital. Just a very, very tragic afternoon here in the county of San Bernardino. Fallen Deputy Andrew Nuñez, 6 years with the force, shot in the head and killed by a domestic abuser, as it seems, who then engaged in a lengthy pursuit, a high-speed pursuit up the 210 freeway, ending in a crash ending, that motorcycle colliding with another vehicle, that rider, that suspect being thrown up in the air, surviving, and then taken to the hospital in stable condition. We will have much more on this story tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock, but for now, I'm Chris Christie up in Air 7.
All right, man. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for tonight. I appreciate it. We got to watch the press conference and the procession. I didn't realize that procession was going to happen, so it was good timing. Rest in peace to the Nunez, and condolences to the family. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, these jobs, being a cop now, I wouldn't want to be a cop. Couldn't do it, man. These people are just reckless. People have no regard, man. And then they get treated like shit, and they're risking their lives all the time. They have family they want to come home to. It's just crazy. So, all right, I guess that's it for tonight. Unless something crazy happens, I'll come back. But if not, I'm gonna just chill and chill in for the rest of the night, watch some videos. We'll see what tomorrow brings. And we have, the November 1st creeping up, which is the food stamp debacle. Toddler mistakenly calls out daddy at late father Charlie Kirk's banner in viral video. sad, man. So sad. I don't know if it was a mistake, but I mean, she just probably saw a picture of the dad. But yeah, I guess that's it for tonight. I think we're good. And I think the 1080 streaming is working out for now. I have to stream like the rest of the YouTubers, I guess, with 1080. Like the rest of the peasants. I'm just kidding. I have to stream in 1080 since Comcast can barely handle it, even though I have 300 megabytes up. It's false advertising bullshit. I guess you just got to make do with what you got until we figure it out for now, you know? But I appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Be safe. Love you. Bye. Hit like and subscribe. Adios. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Good night. Bloop, bloop, bloop.